Now, the features of new economic policies 1991. Now, there are three major components or elements of new economic policies. That is LPG, which means liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now, liberalization means end of license, quota, and many more restrictions and control which were put on industries during 1991. As Indian companies got liberalization in the following ways. That is, abolition of license except in few, no restriction on expansion or contractions of business activities, freedom in fixing prices, liberalization in import and export of products, easy and simplifying the procedure to attract foreign capital in India, freedom in movement of goods and services, freedom in fixing the prices of goods and services. As before 1991 बहुत सारे रूल्स, बहुत सारे रेगुलेशंस थे कंपनीज के ऊपर. लाइक दे वर नॉट अलाउड टू डू देयर वर्क बाय देयर ओन. लाइक उनको हर चीज़ के रूल्स रेगुलेशंस थे, हर चीज़ पे उन्हें पूछना पड़ता था, हर चीज़ के लंबे लंबे प्रोसीजर्स अडॉप्ट करने पड़ते थे, जिस रीज़न से कंपनीज अपनी खुद की इच्छा के थ्रू काम नहीं कर पा रही थी. तो जब तक आपको फ्री नहीं छोड़ा जाएगा, आप कोई काम अपनी इच्छा के थ्रू नहीं कर पाओगे. आप पे बाउंडेज लगाई जाएगी, आपको रोका जाएगा, तो आप उस चीज़ को करने की इच्छा ही नहीं होगी. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव योर 100% टुवर्ड्स दैट वर्क. सो इसलिए 1991 में गवर्नमेंट ने ये रूल लेके आया LPG. लिबरलाइजेशन में सारे लाइसेंसेस हटा दिए. कुछ पे लाइसेंस रखे गए कि कुछ चीज़ों के कुछ काम करने के लिए आपको गवर्नमेंट से लाइसेंस लेने पड़ेंगे. So it was very helpful and it was good. At that time the GDP of India was very high. Now second is privatization. Privatization का मतलब होता है, इसमें ये बोलता है कि आपने प्राइवेटाइज किया, आपने पब्लिक सेक्टर्स, पहले आप सारे इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोडक्ट्स का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, सारी इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ें आप पब्लिक को देते थे, मतलब पब्लिक सेक्टर्स गवर्नमेंट बनाती थी. बट अब आप प्राइवेटाइजेशन में आए, आप पब्लिक सेक्टर और प्राइवेट सेक्टर दोनों को चीज़ें मिलने लगी. इट मीन्स गिविंग ग्रेटर रोल टू प्राइवेट सेक्टर एंड रिड्यूसिंग द रोल ऑफ पब्लिक सेक्टर इन द मार्केट. As to execute policy of privatization, government took following steps. Number 1, disinvestment of public sector, that is, transfer of public sector enterprises to private sector. Setting up of BIFR, Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. This board was set up to revive sick units in public sector enterprises suffering loss. Dilution of stake of the government if in the process of disinvestment private sector acquire more than 51% shares, then it result in transfer of ownership and management to the private sector. Now, अब ये क्या बोलना चाह रहा है कि डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट के प्रोसेस में प्राइवेट सेक्टर एक्वायर करता था मोर देन 51% शेयर्स, then it result in transfer of ownership and management to the private sector. Like it want to say that एक गवर्नमेंट कंपनी में, एक कोई गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है, उसमें 51% शेयर्स गवर्नमेंट का होता है. एटलीस्ट 51% शेयर्स गवर्नमेंट के होने चाहिए, बाकी जिसके भी हो, जिसके भी मतलब प्राइवेट सेक्टर के. Now third is globalization. It refers to integration of various economic policies of world. Till 1991, Indian government was following strict policy in regard to import and export and foreign investment in regard to licensing of import, tariff and restriction. But after this new policy, government adopted policy of globalization. As foreign investment increase किया, import increase किया, हम foreign से चीज़ें मंगाने लगे, foreign से पैसा आने लगा जो इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट हो रहा था. हम सिर्फ अपने में ही नहीं रहे, हम बाहर निकले, हम अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर निकले, हम इंडिया के बाहर गए, हमने उधर इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट, हमने उधर से पैसा मंगाना चालू किया, फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट चालू किया. सो गवर्नमेंट टुक फॉलोइंग मेजर्स दैट आर इम्पोर्ट लिबरलाइजेशन. गवर्नमेंट रिमूव्ड मेनी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस फ्रॉम इम्पोर्ट ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स. FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, was replaced by Foreign Exchange Management Act, that is FEMA. Third, rationalization of tariff structure, abolition of export duty, reduction of import duty, as all this would increase, would motivate the importers and exporters to enhance their products, to increase their import and exports. Like as a result of globalization, physical boundaries, political boundaries remain no barriers for business enterprises as whole world becomes a global village. Globalization involves greater interaction and interdependence among the various nations of global economy. Now, impact of changes in economic policy on the business or effect of liberalization and globalization. Now, factors and forces of business environment have lot of influence over the business. The common influence and impact of such changes in business are explained below. Number 1, increasing competition. Now, after the new economic policy, Indian companies had to face all around competition within the internal market and the competition from the external market, that is from MNCs also. Now, what is MNCs? That is multinational corporations. Now, companies which could adopt latest technology, which were having large number of resources, could only survive and face the competition. Which know about the business environment, they can stay in the competition for a longer period of time. So many companies could not face the competition and had to leave the market. Now, as I told you in the earlier example, Western Company, which was a leader TV in market with more than 38% share in TV market, but it failed. It failed to adopt changes like LED TVs, colorful TVs. So Sony and BPL are still in the competition. Second is more demanding customers. Now, prior to economic policies, the companies, the industries were production unit. As a result, there was shortage of products in every sector, and because of this shortage, it was a producer-oriented market. But after the new economic policy, market changes from producer sector to the buyer market. As now there are a number of companies in the market, there are a number of products in the market, there is a competition whose product is better. Now buyers are getting attracted towards their product, as now it's a buyer market, as industries are focusing what buyer want, what is the customer's choice, what customer want. So nowadays it's a customer demanding market. Third is rapidly changing technological environment. Now, before or prior to new economic policy, there was a small internal competition only. But after that, the world-class competition started. As a global village competition started. And to this global competition, the companies need to adopt the world-class technology. Otherwise, they would not be able to stand in a competition. As they have to, if they want to remain in the competition for a longer period of time, they have to adopt the new changes, the new technology to be in front in the competition. So many pharmaceutical companies increased their investments in research and development department from 2 to 12%, and companies started spending a large amount for training the employees. Fourth is necessity for change. As during 1991, we find out that there was that India's GDP was growing lower and lower. So as being a government, they provide one policy, that is LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. And because of this policy, within 5 years, the GDP of India increases. As this policy was worth it. Change was needed at that time. That's why this policy was brought. Fifth is need for developing human resources. Before 1991, Indian enterprises were managed by inadequately trained personnel. New market conditions require people with higher competence, skill and training. Hence, Indian companies felt the need to develop their human skills. Now, sixth is market orientation. Earlier, firms were following selling concept, that is, produce first and then go to the market, but now companies follow marketing concept, planning productions on the basis of market research, on the basis of need and want of customers, the basis of choice of customers. Seventh is loss of budgetary support to public sector. As prior to 1991, all the losses of public sector were used to made good by government by sanctioning special funds from budgets. But today, public sector have to survive and grow by utilizing their resources efficiently. Otherwise, these industries have to face disinvestment. On the whole, the policies of LPG have brought positive impact on Indian business and industry. Eighth is export, a matter of survival. The Indian businessman was facing global competition and new trade policy that made the external trade very liberal. As a result, to earn more foreign exchange, many Indian companies joined the export business and got a lot of success in that. As many companies increased their turnover more than double by starting export division. For example, Reliance, Videocon, MRF, Seat Tires, etc. Appreciate managerial response to changes in business environment. Now, on the whole, the impact of government policy changes, particularly in respect of LPG, has been positive, as we appreciate managerial response to changes in business environment due to following reasons. Number one, Indian enterprises have developed strategies, adapt business process and procedures to meet challenges of competition to stay in the market for a longer period of time. They have started appointing qualified professional experts. They have started providing trainings to their employees. They have adapted latest technology changes by keeping in mind global competition. They have started creating a brand image in the mind of customers. They analyze need, want, demand of customers before designing the product. They have started keeping their employees satisfied by giving them fair remuneration and training from time to time. And they have become more customer focused, adapted measures and to improve relationship with customer and customer satisfaction.